My last video, I talked about feeling a bit of sadness about change, and I had journaled about that. Well, further on in my journal, and during that time that I was reflecting on this sadness or this looking back on change that had happened, I wrote more about that. And I want to say to you that this is part of the journaling process. There was a lot of emotion around my thoughts about the sadness of change. And so I wrote about the issue of change and the sadness of change and what it really means for quite a few entries. And that's what this process is all about, is being able to look at an issue in different ways, sort of like looking through a prism. As you shift it a little, it shows you something else. This is what journaling about something, an issue, can do, is it can help you really, really pull apart, expand, see things more deeply, more clearly. So I have another little entry here about change that I would like to read to you, because it's an example of how I began to deepen my understanding about the change that was going on and that I had been reflecting on. I write here, change is inevitable. Change is the only constant. The sand will shift because time and experience shift us moment by moment, just as the rhythm of the ocean moves the sand. Yet we must remain grounded, connected, and when we do, we encourage the flow of energy through our being. It has a place to go. Without grounding, we are like a balloon, untied, the air releasing from it and flipping around willy-nilly. So I think what I was getting at here was that in the midst of change, sometimes we can feel a little shaky. And it's really, really important to stay grounded and solid and make that real connection with our inner self about, what we're doing, and allowing ourselves to move forward with that feeling of centeredness. So this can be done in many ways. Grounding can be done by visualization, by deep breathing, imagining the breath going down through your body into the earth. It can be by walking, by being in nature, listening to music that feels really solid and earthy. These are ways to keep us grounded in the midst of change. So I'm going to ask you, what do you do to keep yourself grounded when you may be feeling a little out of sorts or a little shaky, as things are, all the parts and pieces are moving and change is sweeping you along? Think about this. I use breathing, I use meditation. Reading helps me as well. Reading something that's, really speaks to my inner being. But what works for you? That's what I want you to answer for yourself. And use it. You can use it every day, because change is happening every day, right? Wishing you well.